to frame this a little bit, does the criminal law answer ethical questions? No. I mean, are you, I mean, look, I can tell you're unhappy that the mayor loaned Breedlove money at the time that he's telling Breedlove to lie. That's an ethical and political question. That of interest to the city, it's not a problem for criminal law. I don't have enough evidence that that's a crime. Was it ethical in a moral sense for the attorneys to race over and get a statement from Breedlove in the middle of the night? There's an ethical and political question. There's no doubt that it's legal what they did. There's nothing, that is what every defense lawyer does. There's a whole part of my book when I wrote about the Enron case about defense attorneys racing to witnesses to try to lock them in with statements that will undercut their credibility in trial. That's what good defense attorneys do. And what Bob Duger was doing is what a good defense attorney would do.
But we're talking about something that's quite a bit different than just locking in a statement. It's in this lawyer's presence getting Bo to lie.
If we had proof beyond a reasonable doubt that the lawyers told Bo to lie, it would be very different facts than what we have. What Bo did is signed a statement saying that he'd never kissed or had sexual contact with the mayor prior to his 18th birthday, and then told the investigator that hypothetically, if we kissed, would it be a crime? And there's something about my relationship with the mayor, and I'm not telling anyone, and I'm working with a publicist. I mean, that's the evidence we have from the investigator.
Again, not to drill down on this too much, but as I understand it, he was meeting with Kaufman. I don't know if we were in the room with an investigator. He asked to call Sam. Sam said, this is all according to Bo, of course. Sam said,
Can I time out right there, though? That's the problem we have. I mean, the statements about what the mayor says is, I told Bo to tell the truth. And what Bo says is, the mayor told me to lie. And we don't know which of those are true.
and that was
Furthermore,
done over the phone, right?
furthermore, when we, well, I mean, honestly, do we have any idea whether it really happened? I mean, that's what they both say happened.
Well, they both said a phone conversation took place.
Yes. The other challenge here is that, and this is in the investigative reports, what Breedlove originally told us was that he had a conversation with the mayor. He told the mayor he had to tell the mayor's lawyers the truth, and so he told the lawyers about the kiss. And then there's the statement that says he didn't. And so, again, if you assume that Breedlove is a reliable witness and you could base a criminal case on a single allegation, all of this would look different, on that single witness, all of this would look different.
I want to ask you just a quick factual question. 5 months you spent on this, you had 4 investigators working on it?
I'm not sure what the total number, because Ron added people at various times, and I'm not sure what the total number would have been.
Yet, it still remains unclear in the final report which First Thursday event Breedlove attended. How could, with all due respect to Ron and his team, how could they not have determined that there were more than 100 people at that event? It wasn't that long ago, so how could that not be definitively established?
Because we can't definitively establish which one it was.
There are 100 people in the room. I mean, again, with all due respect, if there are 100 people attending...
With all due respect, the media hasn't been able to establish which one it is.
We don't have any ability to compel people to speak to us, nor do we have, 4 people working full-time for 5 months.
I'm confident that there are as many media people working on this case around the city as there are investigators on this case. I mean, again, Nigel, whether it was April or May, ultimately isn't that important to me. What I've got is one witness. I mean, I think...
But the data is important because the MISI gives you an account.
Yes, and the determination we made is that we think it's most likely to be May, but we can't state that definitively.
So can I ask?
And our goal is not to answer in a criminal investigation, our reference from the district attorney was not try to establish every fact you possibly can about what
It's not
happened.
every fact. If you have Clark saying, the Missy told me this, and you've got the Missy's last date, or Clark's last date in City Hall is April 15th, but you can't definitively rule out the fact that Clark and the Missy were working the April event.
But the important thing is the statement of the witness who allegedly saw the mayor.
Right.
And what I've got is a statement from that witness saying, I saw nothing like this.
So here,
And so-
can I ask you,
so-
I want to stop you there.
Again, if it would be a very different case if one of the security guards said, I'm not sure when it was, but I walked into the bathroom and I saw the mayor kissing that guy, and I'm confident it was either April or May, then this would be a very different case. What we have is not that. We have two guards whose accounts totally contradict one another.
Let me ask you about that, because there was a gap in here that I didn't understand, maybe not understand. So 3 factors undermine Clark's claim, and I can show this to you if you can.
Yep.
Recall it. First, DeMissy flatly denied Clark's story. DeMissy was a DePaul security guard assigned to City Hall in 2005. DeMissy stated that he did not recall ever seeing Adams engage in sexual activity with a young man in the restroom. We're telling Clark these details. Was DeMissy asked whether he ever saw Adams with another young man in the restroom? Not engaging in sexual activity, just...
And I'd have to go back and look at the report and
Can we get that information? Because
you have the report.
I gotta ask you the question again.
Yeah.
Is it your assessment that your team should have interviewed Zuckerman?
I'd have to go back and talk to them about why they decided to interview or not.
I know that after you talk to them, you may come up with a different interpretation, but based on what you know now, here's...
I have no reason to second guess any of the decisions they made as to who they interviewed and who they didn't. I have no reason. It's a very experienced, investigative team. And like I said, we interviewed 57. Can I add 10 more people that we could go investigate? Probably. I mean, we could have just kept investigating.
Let me ask you this then,
Yeah.
a different way. Was it legitimate for us to wonder out loud to our 400,000 readers and to suggest that there was a flaw in your investigation because he didn't interview Zuckerman? Was that legitimate on our part?
It is legitimate for you to question every single thing we've done.
Why didn't you interview Adams first? And lock down his story and then come back to him?
Because in a case like this, you want to be, where it's going to be a case that comes down to witness credibility, what you want is first to know what are all the facts that aren't going to be subject to manipulation. Can we, right, are there any smoking gun documents here? Are there any smoking gun emails? Are there anything that we could use to prove or disprove one way or the other, the accounts of Reed Love or the mayor? And so you want to, the goal was to gather all of the records and tangible evidence before we did the 2 key interviews, because what we want to be able to do, when you go into those interviews, what you're hoping to have is some concrete facts that are unquestioned. And so when someone says something that contradicts that, you can say, look, we know you're lying. Here's how we know you're lying. Why don't you start telling us the truth? So you try generally, when you're doing things like that, to first put together as much physical evidence as possible. And so they tried to do that. The challenge here for us is that there wasn't anything that would definitively allow us to prove or disprove either of the witnesses.
But